So that's got more pain than that. Well, look who's here. We got Rosie around. I know the biggest guy around is sitting there. It's okay. I can still see.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi, Brenda.
I would like to welcome all of you, and actually I'd like to thank all of you for being very punctual, so I guess we'll start on time. So welcome and to our first of two informational meetings for the pool properties. I have a pretty significant announcement here. We are streaming live tonight on Facebook, if you've ever heard of Facebook. So we are on the Lake Mohawk members Facebook site. So that is the site where if you want to join it, it'll ask you a couple questions, which then we have to vet. And if you live here or we like you, we let you join the members Facebook site. So it's pretty exciting. The culmination of all our work that we've done it results in this ballot that will be presented to you a week from tonight. Just wanted to point out a few important details. You should have received your letter with the information on absentee voting, on e-voting. The e-voting is opening on Monday at 9 a.m. So you can access e-voting Monday at 9 a.m. to Thursday the 31st at 5 p.m. So 2 hours before the registration for the meeting. If you could make it to the meeting, please come here because we do need a quorum. Doesn't matter how many people vote electronically, if we don't have a quorum in the room, we cannot take the vote. And that goes especially for the Facebook people out there. If you're home right now, next week we're not going to stream. You got to come here and take part. Here's what we're going to tell you tonight. We're going to go over our process. So here's our agenda. We're going to introduce, just like we did back in August, the properties. We're going to review our due diligence process. We're going to talk about our basis of a negotiation. We're going to talk about the pool operation plan. We're going to talk about the financial plan. And our special meeting details. And I think more than likely we probably would have been so thorough that none of you will have any questions. But no, you will have questions, and I've been circulating the club and talking to many of you, and I've been seeing the chatter through emails and on Facebook, and it's good, healthy dialogue. So before we get going, I'd like our trustees that are in the room to, well, most of them are standing, but in the back of the room, if the trustees could introduce themselves.
And Bill Greenlaw.
Okay, and wanted to point out that we do have index cards available in the back of the room, or the trustees could pass them out to you with a pen, and if you have a question, now or at any point during the presentation, maybe you can jot it down. And what they're going to do is they're going to compile these questions. And from my dealings with a lot of them, a lot of you have the great questions, and a lot of you have the same questions. So this way we can compile questions and present them to you at the end. But of course, a question would always generate a question. So we'll have certainly time to answer all of your questions. Right now, I'd like to start with the property detail, and I think most of you know our engineer, Sabina Watson, who joined us in September, right around when the the process started, and that didn't really help me any. It was a godsend to have an engineer full-time to work through this process. So, Sabina?
Thanks, John. Good evening. Hi. So most of you already know exactly what we're here to talk about as far as this site, and so this is really more so to give you the details on it. Besides just that it's been the house of the Cruiser Club and now the Mohawk Pool. This site is actually 4.6 acres. It's located in Byram Township. It's 4 parcels on the northwest corner of East Shore Trail and Meadowbrook Terrace intersection. Marine Terrace bisects the site, running parallel to East Shore Trail, and therefore we have a site that has 2 parcels on the south side of Marine Terrace and 2 parcels on the north side of Marine Terrace. The 2 parcels to the south side actually house the pool, the various buildings that are associated with the pool, and also residential structures that are a single-family house and a multi-use building that has 2 apartments, the pool manager's office, as well as storage in the lower floors, and then we also have on that parcel the kitchen building and the pump house, as well as the restrooms associated with the pool. The parcels on the north side of Marine Terrace accommodate Meadowbrook Drainage Basin, the alum dosing house, and tennis courts and the parking lot overflow for the pool. There's also a parking lot, I should mention, that is associated with the pool. The main parking lot is just south of the pool itself, where used to be the hardtop tennis courts. And that is the site itself as it is today. And from this point forward, I'd like to introduce Bill Greenlaw, President of the Board of Trustees.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about why the Board of Trustees decided to bring this membership, or this question to membership. So the present owner of the pool approached us in July of last year and asked us if we had any interest in even thinking about it. We decided as a board, we went through why we would think about buying this property, and these are the reasons that we came up with, and then we ended up deciding to develop a contract so we could bring it to membership and let you decide if we should own it. So there's 3 main reasons to bring it to membership. One is, and the first one, or at least this is what we feel is most important, is preservation of environmentally sensitive land. The pool property is the only remaining lakefront property available for development. This property, along with Hemlock Park, are the headwaters of the Wallkill River, which feeds Lake Mohawk. Adding septics, increasing impervious surface, and runoff will negatively affect the welfare of our lake, and protection of this land is in our best interest. The second reason we thought it was important to bring this question to membership is preservation of open space. The board and membership of the LMCC have demonstrated time and again that preservation and protection of green and open space is a top priority. We all know what occurred when we considered selling parklands, and the membership sent a message loud and clear. The third reason is recreation. So the pool was built in 1937, and since that time, this property has been used for community and recreational purposes, and that we felt it should be available for such purposes. The property contains an Olympic-sized pool, which is 50 yards long, which is available for lessons, team sports, and events. There's also a mini golf and a snack bar. The recreational and green space benefits add to the lifestyle value as well as the original concept of the lake community. We did a survey of members in September, and this is what our members, we asked them, this was the question. What is your opinion on the importance that LMCC own the Lake Mohawk pool and the two lakefront lot properties so that LMCC can act as stewards of the environment in the southern end of the lake? And what you see there from the back, let me walk over here. So these three sectors from here to here thought it was either somewhat important, very important, or extremely important. So if you total those three, it's over 2/3, it's actually 73.3%, almost 3/4, felt that it was important that LMCC own this land to be good stewards of it. Now I'd like to turn it back to John Stanley.
Thank you, Bill. So the due diligence process, the beginning. Back in August, by a show of hands, who was at the first meeting when we started first presenting this? A lot of hands going up. Out there on Facebook, shoot like a little balloon, or what do they do, the thumbs or something like that. So remember when we were talking about that process taking like 30 days? Yeah, 30 days, wow. What were we thinking? It makes me laugh every time I think about that. But then again, I know that a lot of times you go through a well thought out process. I compare it to the time that when I first showed interest in the club, and that was like on Labor Day of 2017, and I went through, I watched the Yankees in the playoffs, a whole football season, and a Super Bowl before I started here in March. So that was well thought out work, I hope. So the process started, and we had series of inspections. Now, in addition to that, the club, we brought in an independent